agreed brew, if you're a farmer, there's policy for that.
But
If you're unskilled, you're a welder. If there's a deficit, if you go there and see an NOC for deficit for welder, deficit for carpenter, apply.
But does Iliwe work with? Does Iliwe like?
Yeah, so I told you now we have RCS in Canada. I'm an agent of the college. Like anything that has to do with Canada immigration, that's what we.
So any route I want to go through.
That's an immigration body for Canada. Yes, sir.
Any route.
Any route.
So if I say I be.
No, there.
I think that was what I was talking about.
That set up. So.
Hello, Nigerians. Welcome to another episode of Japa Chronicles. I remain your humble host. Yes, so they don't want to make me an official host on this podcast, but I am a host today, and I'm here with my guests.
Yeah, they try collect two of a
Now cool. Now you know say cool the rain. This one DSS no go track me. So I'm trying to. This is an interim hosting.
I don't beg you, no trade. I don't want to talk anything. See,
interim hosting.
Isaac, see, I just see. I want peace of mind. I want to just be working now.
By me, you're well connected. If anything happens, one phone call, you're out. So
I know, right?
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. I'm not prophet. I'm not pastor. Please.
Yeah. So welcome to Japa Chronicles. I remain your humble, whatever I am on this podcast. Isaac, call me Medici.
Okay, no worries, official. You're my co-host.
No, I'm the me. Don't put co. I want to be you are the co-host. So I'm the host. I have my co-host here. Please introduce yourself.
My name is. Please don't even see the laugh. My name is Oladipupo. I did very, very chill today. I did chill like basketball. I did very.
Please don't bring basketball here. Okay.
My name is Oladipupo Adibale, aka the King of Japa.
Yes, sir.
You can claim that one, right?
I can claim host. No,
you
host.
Claim co-host based on that. Me and you started we didn't start together, but like you came into you are part of it.
No, I not like I started it, but I mean I was.
You are integral.
Yeah, I'm integral. Yeah,
you are integral.
Yeah.
But Isaac, we are doing this in almost every week now. Like recording, like we are even struggling to even put out the episode.
The choke, content choke.
The content
choke. And more to come.
We should have done this earlier.
More to come.
This week alone, I think we have 3 or 4 more recordings. Next thing, our live show.
That live show is important.
Next thing.
I want to do a live show before the end of the year. What's this? This is April. I mean, you can do a live show in November, December. No?
If you see sponsor.
You are capable now. You. Mr. Diko, don't do this now.
Yeah, right.
If you didn't do now.
And it did. It's possible. But me, I don't know about you. The reason why I feel this way, I say, if I want to do live show now, UK, I go do or Canada. You get passports. No, I don't. No, verse. I
get 2 passports too.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, you they look me as ordinary Nigerian.
No.
I got 2 passports now.
Are you
heavenly passport?
Are you Bala Blue? Okay, sorry. I thought you were allowed to talk about Africa. Sorry. No,
I don't get Guinea passport.
You don't get Guinea passport.
I mean, of all countries where I go get Guinea.
But funny story, growing up, right? I lived in the LSBC estate with all my family. There were a lot of Guineans and Malians around the estate. They were super friendly, they were very good at football.
Are you serious?
Good. Kone.
You remember their names?
Baba, you know that as guys, nobody everything they touch our heart. Football they touch our heart.
Yeah, definitely.
There was one guy that in left leg, he tall like this.
Wait, the people?
I did that year.
Are you serious? Why you no go pro?
I wasn't any good. And
you're no good. The club you're supporting, they are no good.
Isaac, let's not.
Why you call the word go? Why you engaging in football?
Isaac, I had a terrible weekend.
Why you engaging in football?
I had a terrible weekend because I was optimistic. Seeing that goal, I was like,
Well, you guys scored first?
Yeah, we scored first. Gallagher scored his first goal. It's really sad being a Chelsea fan right now.
Yeah.
Being a Nigerian, being a Chelsea fan, it's really. But I mean, the Bible tells me, count it all joy. I'm optimistic that things will be better.
I think your basketball team lost yesterday.
Jesus.
So
the good thing is that I have 2 teams that I love. I love the Lakers because they were like the old school team, and I really love Kobe Bryant. But I fell in love with basketball as an adult because of Steph Curry. Yeah. So we lost. We're 2-0 down. Well, 0-2 down, if you know what I mean. But I feel we'll be swept. But I'm optimistic that we can actually win. But I sense that we'll be swept because Draymond did Draymond things yesterday night. But yeah.
I'm not. Everybody sees me and says, "Oh, coach, you're tall. You should be a basketball person." But basketball is not really my thing.
I just really love sports. I mean, I can't unpack that in this episode. Maybe any day we go personal. But like growing up, only child of a single mom, living different places in life, sports was really one thing. Sports and music is really something that I really held on to. So I wasn't any good. I was good though. I mean, I was always fastest runner, very agile and all that. But like when you're mature now, you're honest with yourself that you feel no ever done make you never done make
for no common trenches, you focus on now.
So you go introduce our guest. We have a new permanent or a prospect.
So
I thought you guys have forgotten about me. I was just looking.
I was trying to think which name are we going to call you because there's one name you told us. I don't know. It's said we should not give you free PR. So
my name is Victoria. Call me Victoria.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Victoria. Oluwatominsi Victoria, but you can call me Victoria. Everybody calls me Victoria.
You don't use 10 seconds to talk your name.
No, I have to lay emphasis on it since you've decided to call me something else and you said you want to call me something else. So I'm laying emphasis on my name, Victoria.
She go show next week.
Eventually.
Eventually, you guys decide to put me behind the scenes. No wahala.
Wow.
I'll accept it today.
You know, right? You know, right? But I mean, how your weekend now? How oh God.
Anthony, hey, my weekend was Gucci.
Let me tell you something.
At least your team does not make you happy. My team will make you happy.
Baba, let's talk about Banter Liga for a second. So we really play FPL. We have FPL draft and whatnot. So I think I picked 12th or 14th this season. So my first player was Nunes. So like my season has been up terrible. And Nunes didn't start well. You have red card. Yeah. So because I did languish for below. When man you buy Anthony for deadline, Kini, Nami carry him. So this weekend, I don't see my tell you thing. If I owe you Super Eagle.
No, you Super Eagle. You go carry me go this.
No, I owe you Super Eagle because Anthony Golan has named me beat.
Golan.
And I only want baby.
Oh, are you serious?
Get Haaland. So I Bobo don't drag me for group. She go beat you. Oh man. Nunes can't go score yesterday. I'm not gonna carry manager of the week.
Are you serious?
I can't go put my daughter as
DP.
Come on. If Chelsea will not make me happy, Banter Liga. Yeah, but yeah, my I didn't watch the match, but I was happy. I saw the press conference where your coach was talking about him and all that. And now score and assist. So it was. That
was his first assist this season.
This season, I'm happy. Hopefully, I'm sixth on the league now. I'm 20 points behind the league.
Where were you before Anthony?
I've been languishing 14th, 15th all season, but I think I've been undefeated for like 8 straight wins. I'm 8 straight wins now, so I'm sixth, but I'm 20 points behind first. I don't think I can be first or second. I think I can be third or fourth this season.
Oh, so yeah,
it's fun because so many times we go to chat for that group for middle of the night. Our wives go just the look say one guy text say nah, no go make my wife divorce. The one that say who they make my husband?
Who they make me smile by this time?
Because sometimes if match finish 11. We go banter 125. My wife don't know that because she was supposed to be in the second league. So my wife likes football. But
are you serious?
Yeah, she's an Arsenal fan, so I'm constantly being dragged.
Victoria, do you like football?
Not really, but I'm an Arsenal fan too.
Oh God.
I don't like Arsenal fans. So there's something that happened yesterday. The Arsenal official Twitter dropped a video. The players were signing jerseys for like their mascot and all that shit. And Arsenal fans on my CEO were like, "Oh, why are people not happy for us?" Yada yada. I'm like, bro, you don't even want to leave.
Let me tell you something that happened this weekend. So Chelsea lost on Saturday. Women they will drag you. See, don't banter a woman that knows how to banter.
They won't stop.
So my wife does the waka cross palo. Some people are first, some people are 11. immediately ask myself, who's the man of the house?
The man of the house.
God.
You know, and last season when our team wasn't doing well, I was a support system. She talked that thing. Sunday come back for church. They watch Arsenal 2 first 10 minutes, and I get Martinelli also for my draft. So me, I dey always a dance. Paqueta go collect penalty. I get Paqueta for my draft. I can't laugh for. Now in the go collect penalty. I say okay, my wife go win 3-1. My own players don't pop. Now in the draw.
Saka just
from 41st minute till the end of my wife does the vex. I don't see my wife this. I can't say I no go right by school. She go beg me. If not, my man City go carry the league, and I won't.
No, but City's carrying the league now.
What else happened this weekend?
Yeah, so what happened this weekend? I was just mostly home, spent time with my parents, which I really love to do.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Victoria, what do you do this weekend? Victoria be like people where they always go church
every weekend, Friday, Saturday.
No, man, we go to church on Sundays, but I was also home with my parents. But the weekend was really full because I was online and a whole lot of stuff happened online.
Okay, but you which department you do for church?
Social media.
Are you serious?
Okay. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Jail.
Celeb.
But waiting they happen online because I hear say person the view there you don't go look for person.
Person gets to
David be like that kind of person where if you jam, if I jam David for anywhere, if you want chop, you want buy something,
you go pay for.
I go pay for.
you know for eating, like half of the things that have come out about Bat in like the last 1-2 years. Now David go just put out for Twitter. The rest of us go just run with him.
You know, there was a time that we used to talk about footballers. There was this footballer that they say if he passed through your wife, you know that kind. You know those.
Yeah, all those.
Was it Iniesta? There was one footballer. Fabregas. So if Fabregas passed through, if he passed through
Fabregas or Ozil
through middle.
all those guys.
Me, David, no do your kiss. And I feel him in that. Me, David, no do your kiss.
And the crazy thing is, you know, David they go do research on. Like just one time on Twitter, you just bring out your mother something in 2 hours. I'm like, where does this guy get all this info from? Like it's crazy.
Let me small about that.
But yeah, backstory. So they exposed that a certain it's not even certain our president elect. Sorry, I know what you're about to say, but don't say it. I know what you're about to say. Don't say it. President elect has an another passport or let's say citizenship with another country, allegedly. I don't know if it's allegedly.
Yes, we can use that word.
Yeah.
I like that word.
Allegedly.
I like that word.
Allegedly. And when he was feeling, I mean, from pictures we're seeing on the internet,
David put out that he lied.
Yeah, exactly. He lied that he has only
propaganda has been low for the last couple of. You don't notice say Twitter camp.
Twitter has become.
Propaganda has been low. They don't have it. They are looking for how they will come.
I saw one yesterday, Shadi.
Okay, no. I saw they sent him to channels.
They said, the guy look up. And I was so disappointed in that man. I can't even I was so disappointed. Because he's such an enlightened person. He's credit alert. Credit alert, they change you. The
same guy will carry camera for inside the toll gate.
He's not someone you expect that kind of thing from. I was so disappointed when I saw the interview. I mean, it is what it is.
But you know the funny story, right? As somebody who has been in education consulting for 10 years, and people have been asking me for the better part of 7 years, don't you want to Japa? Don't you want to Japa? The funny story is like now I have to say it. This David Udane story now really the reason why I never really Japa. Now it's not like it was intentional, but for me, I'm so in love with Nigeria and so involved in what we do that I sense that if I'm ever called upon to serve, I will. And I just feel like God has just been shielding me because if I go collect another passport, I can't serve two countries at the same time.
True.
And so it's funny. So I know they ever talk because sometimes those things don't make sense. You know, if I start telling somebody that I'm not late to do something like and I only use the good church. But the reality is that someone like me, I've lived all these years, all these decades on earth doing my life one way. All of a sudden you want me to follow the norm and all that. But this is really one of the reasons why.
But I mean you can if you go Canada, you do things from Nigeria now.
I don't want to collect passport.
Because
once you make the investment to move, you know, it's one thing to just
true.
after I enter UK today. If once I move, I have to become a resident, all those things and all that. I'm like, no. In fact, now, see, ask, I want to be, see, all the empowerment scheme. I want to be empowering people. So, Isaac, you go US.
Are you serious?
I those days.
Are you serious?
I those days.
Okay, no, be say after this podcast now you ask for my passport, all those kind of
I see if you have for your passport, but I never did led to.
Waiting go lead you.
But you said you empower people.
Yes,
that's a very strong word.
Come on now, empower me. I won't go US.
What else happened this weekend? What else happened?
Okay, so the hottest topic this weekend was Hakimi.
Oh.
Hakimi's
divorce scenario.
Let me just tell you, macaroni doesn't have sense.
I saw that video. I saw that video.
Let's preface this video by saying macaroni doesn't have sense. It's very, very funny, right? Every time I see macaroni skits that has to do with him and this mommy war, it really does. It gives me like these cultural scars because that's really how women are.
Yeah.
Because every time I look at these skits, this babe goes from this grandma dress to, and I'm like, Jesus. I think I've seen it like twice. This was the second time. But yeah, Hakimi has become like a slang now. Like me and my guys, I'm sure we'll soon start saying, Alpha, waiting the Hakimi account, that kind of thing. If we won't go Cold Stone, we'll go chop that kind of there. Alpha, who they go Casper and Gabini? Which account we do? Hakimi.
No,
Get who Hakimi?
Hakimi is now a verb.
Is that? But I mean, is that something you can do?
No, okay.
Do you think?
I trust my mom, but it's not relatable to our culture because first of all, you can't divorce anybody in Nigeria and then somebody will be taking half your money. So
So I actually had that discussion with someone.
Yeah.
On Sunday, like I don't think to see why, because someone put out a tweet and like, oh, Nigerian women, something that obviously that thing doesn't work in Nigeria. Yeah. You understand? So it shouldn't be a debate here.
It won't work. It can work, but like it won't work because the cases can be dragged out. Judiciary has been suspect. But I trust my mom. I don't think my mom will be like Macaroni's mom in that skit that will then go and. But I mean that kind of money though. But I trust my mom. But more importantly is when you get married, I believe. I mean, you don't marry someone you don't trust.
You don't trust, yeah.
Because my guys have been on it. One of my guys put on his Twitter. I was asking all of us that okay, every woman always has that Hakimi account. Actually, like women, there's no babe you date. The women will say a girl will tell you she's broke and have 1 million in her savings account because I'm not plugging any brand.
That's not entirely true. That's not entirely true.
I can't even lie.
Yeah, it happens, but not. You shouldn't conclude.
See, let me tell you.
Nah, no.
I have a friend.
I beg.
We used to live together.
Okay.
His baby used to live with us.
Okay.
No, that time I was doing NYC. That time we don't finish our life, we don't finish our salary. Everywhere
You
choke. Yes, I was okay. Everywhere choke. They drink garri, cornflakes. Sometimes we put peanuts inside milk. All those things.
Come one night.
No, she did out to talk, so all of us did the garri together. So the day our Alawi now came, we celebrate. And so this baby just say, so I even have one money in my account. So you just check out piggy bank.
I said you don't plug anybody.
You know piggy banks you can lock.
I know they plug brands we never pay for sponsorship for our podcast.
That's true.
Although my guys might get piggy, so maybe I go cut them out. I will send them to my guys.
Friends of the podcast.
But yeah, there you go. I mean that's really what you guys do.
Yeah, so that particular brand you just called now, they lock money. You can lock your money inside. So if you don't have access to the money, you can't.
But you can actually request.
I said Victoria they try to justify.
Yeah, she's trying to justify.
I'm not justifying.
No,
yeah, okay. If you,
but you can request for the money. You can request for it.
Yeah, but I think
no.
Of your profits that you should have made on it.
No, when you lock.
Safe lock.
When you do safe lock.
If you break it at any time,
you can
take a bit of it. They'll just take it like a percentage of your profits.
So
okay, Sha,
but I mean, it can't work.
We shouldn't conclude on what Mr. Dipo said.
Women are always women.
No, don't say that.
So there are so many things to unpack from it. This is not a podcast for all these things, but there's the Ojugogo that used to do boys. Because when I look at when I look at the babe and how when he got married to her, the age gap There's Oju Kokoro.
But you know that's another.
I know we young boys, we always like mature.
Yeah, women. But
And he was really young too. He was young, 19.
It's Oju Kokoro, say. You know what Oju Kokoro is.
But it's wrong. It's wrong from her side too.
How?
That's basically grooming.
We can't say for sure.
They could really have been in love. Because I mean, I don't know how well.
Do you actually think that it's something your woman would fall in actual love with a 19-year-old? Do you know what's this?
How many years gap?
That's like 12. Yes, now she was 31, she was 19. That's 12 years.
Jonas, they marry one Indian babe now.
Now
they say it's real love.
10 years different.
10 years different.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I mean, he was not 19 now.
They're still, the marriage is still ongoing. If you know what I mean.
I mean, but yeah.
I mean, let's move. I mean, it don't happen. Laura can.
Well, for
if
me,
if you want Hakimi account, hold on for where you go for help Japa.
I don't think that marriage should have happened in the first place. I mean, if you don't trust your wife,
it's a funny story, right? And I mean, today we're talking about what are the other Japa options and all that. This is a very important one because let's forget though, Hakimi is a Moroccan guy, so he's an African. So it's not like he was born into wealth.
He wasn't.
And I'm seeing that. Why is it that this happens to us? I mean, your guy, okay, you are not an Astafa. Ebue Arsenal lost all his money because he married one babe. And so, I mean, this is Japa Chronicle. So, is this something about we black people making? Is it wrong choices? Is it us? Are we dropping our culture when we see a fine babe? Because we are guys. You and I know how it is when we guys see fine babe. We don't think clearly.
But not in this case. Not in Hakimi's case.
Because you lie now, you want me.
Nobody
like that. Once we see babe, and it's not here where our values are still okay, where girls don't just dress anyhow. In that kind of place, a girl wears a tight dress. In that kind of place, they don't even want to believe in underwear again. So now this young boy has gone abroad to play football. That's Japa.
Yeah.
And he has maybe went to the club or part of being a young star in one of those clubs. So he now entered a nightclub or something or a party and met this babe maybe in a whatever. And you see this babe wearing that kind of dress. More often than not as guys, that's where our mind is. Are you trying to tell me at 19 his head was correct and he was a professor and he was really looking at life? Wow.
Yeah, but I mean that's exactly what I'm saying. She at that point she was the one that caught him. Do you understand?
I don't think so.
Okay, even if he caught his attention, she caught his attention, but he responded.
Let me tell you something. Okay. As a 19-year-old, I know if you follow up with 30-something-year-old woman. Now she go to follow up with me.
Baba, I did watch Hollywood movies though. Babe, we did that age. You get the guy they give him, we the keep him.
That's what I'm saying now.
So that one no began.
It's not just on the lady.
It's not Mr. Grooming no before.
It's not just on the lady. It's very possible that he made advances towards that. It's very possible.
We made advances. I mean,
no, what he's trying to say is that she was the one who started the whole parole.
19-year-old. Why am I toasting it?
I have a 16-year-old brother at home and he's already disturbing ladies, so don't put it on
way older than me. Come on now.
Might even call your code name. No be
my other listeners. No say na me.
Na you.
No say na different.
But me and you know say you know as they go now.
No, Mr. Dupo, I was 19. I never thought of dating.
That's you.
Let me tell you.
Even if it's true, that's you.
GSS3, I fell in love with my Shina.
She practice.
Make she don't even see this video. I don't know where she did now. And my teacher, who my comes.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It wasn't only me, all the boys.
That happens a lot.
Now I'm a man, right? I'm mature, right? It was probably infatuation. Because Adishola did very blessed, very pretty. And Adishola they sell egg roll. So every time boys, we do short break.
Don't go by
third floor. We don't enter down floor. When we comes room, go buy short break. Just to see Adishola face. But so, sure you go come talk say because I don't get sense that time. I don't get interest.
No, Mr. Dupo, it's not about that. Now you had a crush on Auntie Shola. Could you have followed up? Do you understand?
So that time I shot, right? I'm not too. I be brief, but so both guys don't day class.
That time.
So that time for GS3, and say that time for secondary school as well, you had guys that were maybe a couple of years ahead of you. So those even Guineans and Malians, some of them were even in school with us because they migrated to Nigeria and they were years behind and whatnot. So if I was a bit taller, maybe if you don't get the courage, when I get back, go approach.
No, but that's one aspect.
Because money they give courage.
If you had the courage now and you threw it at her. If you followed up, you threw it at her.
As that thing I lost. As I remember, Angela get coughs that time. I lost. Even now I don't get that sense because that time na infatuation. Because as young boy, plenty love. I don't love from primary school now. One of all my primary school teachers we they marry. We know they ever like their husbands. Miss Meadows. My mama still they remind me. Now they don't marry 25 years.
Which schools you go? Man, I don't been to get fine teachers.
No, I went to SIS, Salvation International School.
I went to AIS.
I don't know what that is. I mean, my school.
You say AIS, you should know what AIS.
No, but it was Redeem now. So that time Redeem Christ General School. So I went to the best, schools. Even though that's life. Even now.
What's investing?
No, I know if you go Redeem school. By that time, I don't get sense. If I see a funny story, if I ever went to a Christian school, I for done bad. God for no really help, because that time we go to use Christianity, they do nonsense.
If I speak,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We boys,
this table.
Because I now went to this city, which was a city school, so there was mix of Muslim. We had a big chapel, and then the Muslims had even though the owner is a Christian, but he was this Olu school abroad. Maybe we won't bring my VC my chancellor podcast.
Make it come sponsor one episode.
So no love at that age. We be teasing our love. We no get sense. And funny story, that time when you go don't write letter to person, whether na your classmate or na teacher, one of those men go see him, come twack your bum. They don't go address the teacher when they wear tight skirt, kakiri class. So now you can't blame Akimi say, na that woman, na that woman,
na she,
na that woman. No, now wait till she dey wear, na ain't distract my guy. Akimi, I'm behind you.
But Akimi, why you strong? Why you swayed by what a woman's wearing?
But funny story, right? We should also talk about culture and tradition, because there's also something about a well brought up guy who, and maybe it's just Netflix and all the movies that we're watching. It also always seems like certain cultures, when a young guy loves a woman, right, and it's funny, they really are committed to her at that young age.
Fact.
Maybe it's also sometimes when our heart has been broken. Because like me now, before, I don't know how many heartbreaks I had. Again, we nice guys, we are lovers. So
we all go
before you player like you.
If I start my story, no, come on.
Okay, so now heartbreak make you get
no, I'm a clean. My hands are clean.
Because the office gossip is that you are.
Come on, you guys shouldn't be doing that now.
I'm not telling you what the
how many women in the office I talk to? Yeah, you're the only person I talk to in the office.
Boss, I know they lie outside. They talk, but
I know they lie.
Boss, which offices you do it now? Who did those offices?
I always do my team lead office now.
Your team in a man or woman?
We dey share ideas.
Oh no.
Who else do they do it?
I did with my team members.
Japa. You always deal with them.
We dey share ideas too.
We share ideas.
We always share ideas. Soon now I go to share ideas with Victoria.
So which idea you and your media always share for office?
Hey, you said something before.
But so culturally, I think that, I don't know, again, and this is a matter of the heart. I always say that our business is lifestyle. Everything really connects, because this guy don't Japa, and his values probably stayed with him.
Yeah.
I could make an argument that when he left, he actually fell in love with this babe, right? And it may not just have been maybe just curves and whatnot, right? He actually fell in love with her. But more often than not, when guys have now been heartbroken, that's usually when they now maybe go on their amazing nonsense spree. And I think it works for both parties, but more for guys, particularly if they are well brought up. So culturally, and I don't know much of the Moroccan culture, but I watch movies and whatnot. I have seen how cultures related, like similar to Morocco, how they behave. And that's also why this guy probably gave his mom. Because, it may not be so related, but I've watched all these movies on Netflix about the Arabic and all that. That's the northern part of,
Yeah.
And they treat their mom with such respect. And so when the girl get married, they treat their wives also with such
respect.
So, there's always a very, very unique. He may not have been grooming. He may have actually been in love with her with a very good heart. Now, maybe being also a mama's boy or being a well-brought-up boy, mommy felt, oh, you're young and whatnot. Why don't we do this?
Yeah.
So you just keep that 20% or whatever he kept that you need,
Mm-hmm.
and he wouldn't have felt bad. Now, also, this is a guy who has played in Europe and his family is in Morocco. I mean, you probably even saw a boy story if you want to ask me.
Low key. That's.
The story was what, 10 or how many years ago?
It's very recent.
And he was depressed and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's up to almost like 7 years. Like that.
Yeah.
And he must have had, like, I've heard of stories in this football scenes, even in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
We know of, I don't know his real name, John Wick, that when she was trying to get his money through the divorce. It was really
in the world had that issue too.
Bill Gates.
Wasn't Bill Gates?
Don't say Bezos.
Yeah, Bezos.
Don't say Bezos because we don't conduct Bezos because Bezos left his fine wife to go and be doing his.
But Hakimi has. That's the thing. So another thing is people didn't even talk about his.
Yes, there's a story to Hakim, and he was accused of rape.
Allegedly,
stuff like that.
Allegedly,
But I think the culture is a huge factor on this. The culture stuff. I don't think he's a mommy's boy or something, but I think he grew up with that mindset of honoring his mom or something like that. It might not, like what you said, he might have fallen in love with his wife for real.
Why don't we ever honor our fathers?
Oh,
You guys don't understand.
me give your popsy that kind of money. You gonna say, oh, the school fees have been paying.
Funny enough, here our mothers are known for stuff like that. Even they will even sow it as seed.
Yeah, I saw what sweet.
Yeah, I saw that, and Macaroni really captured that because I don't know how much money Macaroni claims to have in all these kids, but the woman bought houses for her friends or cars.
Oh my God!
Somebody said she Japa, and the car she left in Nigeria for her parents. The parents gave church, and she came back and she's like, the sharp plans.
Yes, I saw that tweet.
But I think something that I also say about our parents and culture is if you want to be clear with your parents and communicate properly what you want. Our parents are not that terrible.
Fact.
No.
So sometimes the assumptions because you give me the car, so what? If is there a clear communication on, oh mommy, please help manage this car till I come back. That's a clear communication. It's different from it's almost like you've given me the car. So
no, but I think before you give out my car, you should ask me.
Yeah. Why you even talked about UK? Because UK seems to be like the hottest generation for Nigeria. Did you see what was trending on this joke of putting
Firstly, I'm tired of that picture. I'm tired of that
it was
picture.
first like on Christian Twitter.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't remember what cartoon is that.
I don't know the cartoon. I don't know the cartoon again. There's a female version too. There's one time they put a picture of like the guy on the floor like he was dead or something like. Una questions don't finally kill this guy.
But yeah, I mean, I saw so much. I mean, I saw someone who said if you are 40, don't come to the UK. I don't know. I mean, how many hot? There were a lot of hot takes on that.
Yeah, around like 800 and something quotes.
Jeez.
Yeah, so everybody says.
What's the content like you see?
So by our guy again, David. He said the UK is the global capital of emotionally unsupported people. And my friend has said this thing before. He said he was on the train and somebody passed out on the train and everybody was just like, okay. But nobody went to help. Nothing. And he didn't know what to do because he just got there and
maybe they don't go talk.
Yeah. So everybody was looking.
Jeez.
So the person now just woke up and went about a normal life.
Maybe she did do maybe not stunts.
No be stunts, Mr. Dupo. People actually say these things. In the UK, when you know Nigeria have accident, everybody will gather, hold up, go there. Bro, things
but
is
it's also
funny.
It says a lot, Victoria, about our culture that with the UK people. So I don't know if you watched. I mean, I read and watch a lot of stuff. When there are Polish settlements in the UK. Right, they stay together.
Yeah.
They're Indians. They stay
together.
Why
communities?
Why is there our own communities? Why are we the ones complaining? of course, also our community that will scam themselves.
They also stay together there.
I don't think.
I have
a lot of what was there was not.
No, but I heard that this place. I heard this place is like the capital for Africans or blacks. Peckham.
Yeah.
So Peckham is like
probably one of those places.
One of those places, yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
They do. I have a best friend that went there last year. So we were on a conversation, I think, a few weeks ago. And I asked her, I was like, are you also depressed that these stories are flying? And she was like, she's not depressed though. She has made friends.
Are you serious?
Yes. She has made friends and she met people. Even at her workplace. She's working in a coffee shop.
How long has she been there?
A year. And trust me, she posts.
Personality, because somebody like me now, if I enter any place, they will quick know me.
Yeah, it depends on personality too.
But the thing is, the most cheerful people that were my guys in uni, bro. Everybody's
culture shock.
Everybody's.
You see also the fact that maybe because one of the things I also saw is a lot of things that I saw on that tweet, or the few I saw was people talking about not having plan B. Because a lot of people when they didn't have plan B, and you're basically trying to do school to work to survive.
So no time to mingle.
But I mean, what should be the plan? What should be a plan B?
I mean, when my friends go there, right? Yes, I send a lot of my friends. That's why we are here, Japa Limited. We send people abroad and whatnot. But I always encourage, and you stay true to your own faith. I tell them, go to the church, make friends.
Right.
Because my people in Canada, when they go and they send me pictures and videos, in some Canadian churches, after church, food.
Yes, I had that gist. The food after church.
So they do like a full community. See, if I enter Canada, there are some churches that are already.
So
I think that's like the best church because if you go there, you meet other people and even there's this particular church that is everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere. I don't know if I can say the name of the church.
No, we know the church. We know the church.
You know the church. So if you
obviously that church.
Not my church, not even my church.
I mean,
my church is, but not my church. We know the church.
You must bring customer. Don't plug your church.
Which church?
So you don't know the church that is everywhere.
It's church. It's your church. It's your church. No, it's your church. It's your church.
I know. Even though.
Okay. Ibadan Lagos Expressway.
I said that your church.
Between election and banana and agenda, I'm not really pleased with my life.
But the church is everywhere. Yeah, so my sister went there and in about like a month she started attending that church. And she has friends, she has joined the workforce and everything, and the food thing too.
No,
but all work and no place really.
But one thing my friends they complain about mostly is the timing. I have a friend there in the UK who says he doesn't see his roommates as his housemates aside Sunday, so he's working
That's it,
and he's schooling.
That's not about that, and that's really because everybody's tired of Nigeria and whatnot. It's been very, very difficult. Now the people that are not complaining are the people that live wild lives, because I saw one tweet about one guy that said if you're in the UK, like there's sort of like a formula on what you want to do. And it's always funny. That's the thing about people who are like, when you're self-aware of yourself. When you're self-aware, like even when they come to me, like they want to japa, people that are self-aware will just come and say, "Oh, Alpha, I don't get the money. Nah, this person won't give me the money. I don't get any money. I just won't go." Like, I prefer those kind of clients than people that don't even come into the corners and saying, "Actually, what do you need? 15 minutes. I can get it. So yeah, and once you are self-aware, when you get into any space, it will be easy for you.
To flow.
And to flow. So that's really that.
I actually always think about it that if and when I move out of the country, how because these stories I hear actually scare me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm that kind of person that I don't like to be lonely. Like, I like being around people, like, a lot of times. So when I'm there, so for example, I was looking at a school some time ago, and the school is not in a very populated
place
area. Yeah. Actually, like, it's a very white area.
Village, remote
exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I have two friends there, and they were telling me the truth that because now like should be all of us go date together. Like on my day too, they don't even see each other like that, and they're in the same space. And like it's crazy
Out
that I
there.
should get ready. What?
Over there.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, I should get ready for the loneliness. That I shouldn't worry that.
Even if you are in Nigeria and you are occupied with work and schooling and everything, you won't still have time.
It's funny because Isaac and I seem to be very similar, and that's also probably why in the office, like I have this culture that we have set, is because just like when we're in school, the person that you spend the most of your time with are the people that you're like during the day. So like if your colleagues in the office are not your friends, that's why when people say I'm in a toxic or I like the money. I stay in a toxic relationship with
your colleagues are not your friends.
Your colleagues are not your friends. You just come for the money. What's the point? Please,
Doesn't make sense.
Isaac was also talking about other Japa routes, but Hakimi has sort of given us.
Hakimi just he sets the pace.
He don't set the pace for us. So I mean, what else? What else do we have before let's get into
let's just get into the topic
of the day.
Yeah, briefly.
So yeah, but these are fifth. I mean, it's been back to back to back. We've not even released every episode.
Yeah,
I know it's itchy. I know you're eager. You're enjoying it. Don't worry. I'm
the new host, so I'm enjoying it.
Our host.
My wife is coming back. My wife is coming back soon. Like almost the least. She'll not even begin to plug the.
No. Let them out. The anxiety.
This week alone, I think we still have 2 recordings this week, and maybe 2 again next week. Yeah, man. If you
didn't, they didn't.
So, but I mean, we're supposed to talking about other Japa plans.
We've been discussing study.
We haven't really been discussing study.
I mean,
if you talk about a lot of things, we're focused
largely on study. Yeah.
And we're going to have 2 guests who have then they came back. Yeah. So we can't call them Japa.
I mean, considering last, yes, because we talked about brain drain.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah. So we're bringing 2. We're bringing 2 people. It's going to be superb, and at least one a celeb. Or low-key celeb.
And I would like meet them, sure. I'm just if I don't meet many celebs because of you. See, Victoria now.
Oh, please.
So, I mean, but yeah, Japa is, I mean, popularly, immigration is what we call Japa, and there are other Japa routes that people don't usually talk about, or people aren't patient for. And that's really why the school one is more successful.
Yeah.
But you'll be surprised, a lot of people still do the normal one. No? Particularly people that want to do visiting and not come back.
Well, is that possible?
Canada still has 2.1 million backlog now. You know what that means? UK now does the deny.
Are you serious?
UK and US, they does the deny. Because a lot of people want to Japa. And because the thing about Nigeria is once something small does open,
everybody wants to go that route.
So
I think that's why like people they always gatekeep. So they don't like. I have a family friend that went to Canada. This was like before Japa was even like a thing. Let's say like 2013 thereabouts. And like my parents used to like, what's the update? But they would all the bit around the bush. So my parents just noticed that they were not trying to open up. And so people like to gatekeep it because they know that Nigerians will rush and then thing cast.
Oh, it's spiritual.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Oh yeah, there are other routes. Every country has what is called like a skilled worker program. Which is primarily for us at Japa now. With Canada, we specialize in Canada immigration end to end, and we can use Canada sort of as a case study for the rest of the episode where we are really talking about Canada has like 80-something policies, but they've got
80-something.
Yeah, a lot. So even provinces are allowed to have their own policy. So the skilled worker is probably the most popular one, and that currently is thriving in the UK, in Canada, in US, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Portugal even has one called skilled worker visa. You go collect the visa, can't go Portugal, go to find job.
Well, for Canada, you need to have gotten a job.
So Canada, you need to have gotten a sponsorship for some of the skilled worker programs, but then there's the normal express entry or provisional nomination, which means that the government thinks that based on your experience and your skill, you can get a job when you get in there. There's also business visas for rich people like, your pops. Because I remember when you were thinking your pops, he has plenty P's and whatnot.
I said my father has 1 P.
So,
plenty P's.
So, I mean, business entrepreneurship programs where you can go set up your business. But that one usually requires you to have like maybe $50,000 or $100,000 in cash and assets worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the country.
I don't understand. 100K go there your bank.
Small money.
Mr. Luke, 100. And you're telling me my father has to pay.
Wow.
He just said $100,000.
It's like customers now. It's small money now.
But has anybody ever reached out to you through that route?
Yes, sir.
Business.
Yes, yeah.
Business.
Have you always the person?
Security on security ground.
No, that's what you told me personally.
No.
You tell me.
You don't. You sign ND.
Which I mean, I'm part of a layaway. So.
Then of course there's the family sponsorship. That one's like the most popular one, where like you said, so if you had family there, they bring you in. Like Canada even has one. Certain provinces will say if you have a family in the province, they can sponsor you to come into the province. So let's assume you have an uncle in Sask right now. Sask has that policy that your uncle can sponsor you to come in to that. Then of course there's the typical marry.
Like he just writes to the embassy or something.
So you already have been in the pool and whatnot, so he will then nominate you. Yeah. Don't be here, they will teach you. That's why we are here. Maybe know us, maybe come meet us for office.
I have a question. No, this one I saw a tweet.
Mm-hmm.
Someone tweeted that don't sponsor your family members to the UK.
Yeah.
So is that like another route, like a family member outside they can sponsor another family member?
I have a brother who just relocated to the UK based on some sponsorship based on blood ties. So there are different means. UK right now is hot on these healthcare jobs, teaching deficits and all that. The other time, let's say you be applying for the driver one.
So a family member.
But the family member, I mean, they can if they are willing to take care of certain things. But you see, the problem with UK and some of these other places right now is that when there are plenty people somewhere, like I said, a lot of people are running there. Like right now, you remember that man that was trending when he was trying to help that person that was scammed in Nigeria.
Yeah.
He came out with another video saying, and I mean, I'm happy to talk about people because I'm not an immigration lawyer for UK, right? It's not I just do study and visiting, so it's not affecting my business, I'm affecting his business. Yes, now simple. So he was talking about that in like a couple of days, he had almost 100 plus calls, 200 something calls for people who had been scammed on certificate of sponsorship for UK. So that's why it's a very delicate balance, the whole UK one. Nigerians, a lot of people they scam people. And so a lot of people come to me and say, do it for me. It's hard for me to trust those people there.
Yeah.
And most of my own friends that are there doing it, even me, I'm not looking to put them in that situation because it's not their business.
Yeah.
True.
So it's a very, very delicate matter. Now, people they go UK for health. People they leave UK go New Zealand for health.
Like you're leaving the UK.
Yeah, New Zealand they have a hot immigration policy for health. So basically, what immigration does is, let's assume that you're the president of, let's use Estonia, that came to my head, and your country has a deficit for doctors or drivers.
Okay.
You just bring out the policy, you ratify with your government and say, okay, we need certain people from certain countries who meet maybe work history, language, things like that, and you bring them. There was a country that was trending one time for having a deficit for men. That their women wanted more men.
Well, I heard that. I heard that.
Popular thing.
Is it
on? No?
Please, what country is that? Does it really help it?
No, dear. We will not help with your infidelities.
But I mean, I'm going to marry.
Then of course there's the refugee one. I mean, so this whole Ukraine.
So that's what I was
I think Afghanistan had the recent bombings and things like that. Syria. Countries like that who either are in support of that country who's going through something. So like people are supporting Ukraine would allow those refugees
to come in
easily, and they'll prioritize
but those processes take a lot of time.
So every process has its own timeline. So the refugee one now and asylum status, those ones are life or death. So the governments usually are more
on them. So it should be easy for we here in Nigeria now. We have stuff going on. We have stuff going on.
They do go propaganda. You say you did insult them.
I'm not insulting them, but I did not say anything. I just said we are.
So there is also US. I mean, US has been big for a long time, from the days of visa lottery to the medical tourism, normal visiting visas, B1, B2 visas, even work visas. Now I have a connect now, but okay, that's what I don't want to tell you that I said, but I have a connect or a family friend who just got this business blah 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 shine. So people who have like big jobs or like big companies here who want to either go set up in the US or expand, so they will get this special license to set up their businesses there. And if they need to bring in people from here, because you have like a quota, so like that business visa now, when you set up your business, there's a percentage that has to be indigenous of the country you set up.
Yeah,
and
you can bring
also bring in your own people. So those things happen.
Yeah, no. So what are you saying?
Then about focus.
Is it tech company?
It's a focus.
I do tech.
You do tech.
I do
yeah,
tech.
yeah, a tech bro.
I do tech.
So there's also like Nordic EU. So like I mean, if you've watched Ragnar, what's not this show?
Vikings
and those Nordic cold areas, the Scandinavian areas. A lot of them also have like nice what do you call this, agreements, bilateral agreements, so you can move within the system, Nordic area. So there's a lot of opportunities that are there. So it's not just the popular express entry study. You know, there's Canada came up with a couple of, I think now 4 years or so years ago, about agric or something. So like if you're an agric, so like you see like tech brew, if you're an agric brew, if you're a farmer, there's policy for that. But if you're unskilled, you're a welder. If there's a deficit, if you go there and see an NOC for deficit for welder, deficit for carpenter, apply.
But does Iliwe work with? Does Iliwe like?
Yeah, so I told you now we have RCS in Canada. I'm an agent of the college. Like anything that has to do with Canada immigration, that's what we.
So any route I want to go through.
That's an immigration body for Canada. Yes, sir.
Any route. So if I say I be.
No, dude.
I think that was what I was talking about.
That setup. So if now, for instance, now a very popular one like we're talking about, the family one, just like in study, if you go school, you feel come with dependents. Now that policy it differs in different countries and how they go. Some European countries will tell you, we don't want you to come with your family immediately. You will go first.
Then they'll join you later.
Yes. Canada, they're flexible about some of those things. UK, they're very flexible about them, because if you're able to show that for some of them, they want your partner to come. Because
is there a limit to the number of family members that
no, so there are age limits. So like if you are sponsoring somebody now, you can't sponsor a child over I think 21 in certain countries. Like Canada now, once you're 21, I can't sponsor you over 21, 22 to come as a dependent. You're already an adult. They believe you're an adult. Yeah. So you can take your husband if you're the one going as a lady. You can take your wife if you're the one that you go with your children and all that. So for Canada and UK, your husband will either get a visiting visa for Canada or you apply for an open work permit, which is what a lot of our people do, so that when the wife or husband gets there, they won't be lonely and your partner can be there, useful to the system. So it'll be good if the person has work experience and things like that. So
for this business visa, is it just to go there to set up your business or go for meetings and then come back?
Set your business up.
They'll give.
You can even access investment from there, so long as it's something beneficial to the government.
They'll give you visa and you can
live there.
So the thing about visas and permits is people don't understand. We just use a general word visa. Visa now they allow you to move from one place to another. Now the access to enter. The permit now you are permitted to do this when you are there. So study permit means you are permitted to study when you are in Canada. Now the visa they allow you enter. Now the permit they allow you enter border to do what you want to do. Same with work. Yeah.
I was thinking business visa is limited to you just going there for meetings and then coming back.
Different countries have different ways they call it. US does more H1, B1, B1, B2, and they have their H2. So depending on what you are going for, but the popular one is the B1, B2, and B1 is more the business visa. So you want to go for a conference, you want to get in. So like right now, people they rush us, they want to go for visiting for US, or they want to go for business meetings, able to help them with their visa setup and all that. Yeah.
So, but the US business visa thing is still the same as Canada. Have a certain amount of money.
Oh yeah, you have to have a certain amount of proof of how they work for a year, your income.
But would you have set up office there already, or you're just going there?
So it depends on what you are going for. So if you are going for one of the immigration policy that is business and entrepreneurship, so you are really going to tell them, okay, give me a permit to come
and set up.
I will live there, I'll set up there, my family will come, I will employ people there and bring people here. That's different from US's B1, which is just Isaac won't go for conference. Maybe you know that you love PR and music and stuff. you want to go for maybe a conference, maybe you even pay for the conference, you attend it for a couple of days and things like that. So
Okay, so out of another curiosity, the skill visa you spoke about earlier and this business. So if you go there through that skill visa means, can you set up your own business?
Yeah, you can always, in some of these countries, you can also always change depending on
So you have to apply.
Yeah, you have to apply. But a lot of these things, they take time. And normally for a visiting visa, you're not allowed to stay in the country for more than 6 months at a time, depending on also how many years. But more often than not, you can't stay more than 6 months. So sometimes the business and entrepreneurship, they take almost a year to set up because there's a lot of verification. They have to show that you're not lying and things like that. And all that. Yeah. So
interesting.
now the reason I'm happy because now the way they kaku.
No, this is really enlightening now.
That's what we're learning. We're here to learn from King of Japa.
So that's it's really broad. And just like we said earlier, a lot of the problem where people they get for here now say, people know they get plan on what they want to do. And that's why you need to let people know that okay, there are different reasons and there are different ways to get to your decision making when you start to Japa. Because a lot of the factors where they influence people to go abroad for Nigeria and are largely say I just want Japa.
Greener pastures.
So does Ileiwe provide that, I don't know, that knowledge or space where okay, I want to Japa, but I don't know what I want to do there.
Yeah, pay consult. So Ileiwe education is largely school only. My Japa Limited does more of everything on immigration. So
okay.
Anybody won't come, now we go.
I have no idea, but I just want to go.
Just
help me.
Pay consultation fee.
Okay.
30
So
minutes
for Canada, are there professions or industries like
hot cake?
Yeah, like if
I think the hottest course that transcends any country right now is tech. Right?
Yeah.
Particularly with AI and data. That's like it's hot. Product analyst, product developer, product manager. One of my guy. If I see a rule anyway, I go bill him. Don't enter Meta.
Wow.
They Meta. You don't enter faculty for university when doing MBA as something director of product. If I rogues, I know you're going to watch this. If I see you, I go be you.
What did you call him?
No, I know.
Are you
Victoria, I don't research you. And I wrote no.
No, now did you get the name?
I heard the clean and clear. And I don't want further information. I don't need any information. So why are you asking?
And once you're successful like that, you know the system. It's easy to move. So I mean, tech, healthcare, those are usually the hot ones.
So they don't define
business. Comes depending on the area. The city define comes. Okay, you try to plug up. Only me.
I had a gist about teachers.
No, I mean
yes. So UK right now needs teachers.
Okay.
So I saw something that teachers in UK are trying to leave the UK. That's why they're not trying to get like immigrants to come and teach.
Yeah. It's also because they don't take care of them well. Now, when that teacher thing came out and I read the policy, it was clear that I wasn't sure I wanted to really help people to do that because a lot of people were complaining about how they treated them. So, I saw one news here, they sacked the teacher because she called a girl in a all girl school.
Yeah, that stuff is trending right now about
that's another. I feel like that should be another conversation.
Yes, that conversation is really
the cultural shock, or I mean, we know how we live here. Do you understand? And then you go there and like it's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
How do you adapt?
There,
because it's crazy. Because I can imagine. Oh, I'm walking on the streets and I see a guy, hey, guy alpha. Next thing, oh, I'm a lady. I'm like,
my boss said something else. I give you one new plug. We don't enter my head now. Japa is like marriage. Don't just enter. You have to plan.
You have to plan. Don't just.
I think
what?
I think that's a place to.
I need to note that down.
I'm not shitting Akimio, but that's the reality.
Oh my god!
We're going to this episode, Akimi episode.
Because I know so many people who have gone
without plan,
and you don't want to know the problems that they're in. I mean, in my line of work, so many bans, so many rejections, so many getting there. What you how is it? What you bargained for, it's not what you got when you got there. So it's something that we need to really look into. It's something that we need to really look into. So don't just enter, say I want to Japa. Yes, Japa is I mean I always say it's been since before our time. People will continue to Japa.
Yeah.
Footballers Japa. There's nothing wrong with it. Dancers Japa. I saw a video Britain's Got Talent. I don't know if you
Oh
saw
yeah,
it.
those
Yeah.
those
Did you
boys.
cry? I know you
I
cried.
mean, no, it was very emotional for me. It was a very
Softy,
emotional.
you cry. You cry.
This is kind of conversation you have. Why can't men cry? What's soft C?
Me now, if it was like cry, I know you for office. You know, want me those big things you cry.
I
So
know.
yeah, I saw those
I
videos
cried.
and it was sad. And but the truth is, I have my big birthday coming up very soon, and I've been thinking of so many things that I want.
Speaking about babies,
yeah, that's true.
Yay.
Isaac's birthday is this Friday.
is there?
Aw.
I'm outside. We're outside
We don't
on
know where-
on
we don't know where-
Ile's
we don't know
pockets. On Ile's pockets.
Japa King is ready for you.
So and I saw it was really nice. Now we don't know whether those children now they will move. You say one London School of Dance. That's Japa. And these are children who this guy picked off the streets.
Trained them.
Ghetto kids.
I think 30 children in his house. I really inspiring. Unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, I would love to do that, but I mean, that guy has found his purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and they were like, "Does ever happen?" Golden buzzer, like
Mhm.
2 minutes into the
2
performance,
minutes
something like
into
that. So yeah, Japa has always been, and so you can't just say you want to Japa without planning, and that's why again, I mean, not to drag all of you, I don't drag divorces and all that, but the reality is that COVID now was hearing 4,000 divorces in 1 month of staying at home together, you know, all those kind of things. You enter a relationship with somebody you want to marry, if you don't have a plan, if you are not focused on the same place,
No,
it's
I
likely
kind
that
of understand that COVID thing,
Mhm.
Sha.
Mhm.
I kind of understand it, but I
I
mean,
saw-
so
I
I
saw
had this. I had
you
this.
saw- you saw it, you
no,
saw it.
wait. I had
I
this.
saw one babe saying something about side chicks that those have been keeping marriages. Isaac, you saw it.
Wait. See,
I'm
so
tired
I
of
had
social
this. I
media.
had this conversation with. Yomi. I won't say what the conversation was,
Okay.
but I mean it was around that line, and she was like, "Oh, okay. So let me just say what. This is not my honest thoughts. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that. I mean, spending like a weekend with your person to be is not. I mean, it's just to know Jonathan.
Okay. Cohabiting before marriage.
I don't want to use that word. But
We don't support that.
If you want to use it,
We don't support
no,
that.
I just said a weekend, Jonathan. Like
A weekend.
yeah,
See.
just like one weekend to know that okay,
Hello, bro.
Jonathan. Because I know someone who said COVID was the first time him and his wife were like alone in the same space for like
For a
that
while.
long.
He had
Jonathan,
nothing.
and he started seeing things that he didn't
Excuse
know.
me.
Do you understand?
Excuse me, let me be a philosophist again. If you don't prepare to win, what do you prepare to do? Like Chelsea's currently doing.
Fail.
Exactly.
The 11th. I'll be
Yeah, I
honest.
think we're 12 now. I don't know. The reality is that you're going to get into any form of relationship. We were talking about self-awareness. These are parts of all these things about counseling and all that. You can't just go into something and not know about the thing.
Mhm.
Now, it's not a Christian podcast, but the reality is that marriage was not our own idea, it was God's idea. So you are going into something, you want to go and live it with somebody else that is of the opposite sex, and you just think that it's the same way you just carry your bag and go to the office, or you went to university and came out with a degree and you came out with a master's. You think it's the same? It's not the same thing. You have to have sense. Like that's like a main requirement of marriage, is that you have to have sense. And when you hear
You have to have sense.
yes, now. And when you hear most of the issues that people have in marriage, the reality is that one person just has to calm down.
Oh yeah, there's that child.
Mhm.
So now our own Gen Z and millennial or whatever we call ourselves, more often than not, when we dey go back and forth about arguments, one person does need to calm down. But we are always going about it. It's a win-win. Just like when we said this is our fourth, you won't win, me self won't win, but me no say I don't win. Thank God say I get evidence. And Dr. Obi told us this thing in our school where she says, in God you trust everybody bring your data. If you bring your data and you see it, even the most mad person will see that. That's usually the problem. So it's same thing with Japa. You won't go. You go meet roadside agents when no go help you plan. You understand? They no help you plan, they no guide you and all that. You can't reach the end. See say no work. It's you now.
It's your fault. All on you.
So that's it. Yeah, I don't preach for you today.
I yield my.
So it's not about cohabiting or living with each other beforehand. No, that's not the real thing. The real thing is our hearts. Like, what kind of person am I? What kind of person is the opposite sex? You know, and that's really how it is. So if you want to jackpot, for instance, you are thinking, oh, I am a graduate of computer science. I love business. I love management. This country I want to go to, for instance, what are their schools on management? What is the finance? What do I have? what is the ranking? What am I looking for? What will I be satisfied with? What is my plan after? Am I tired of Nigeria? Do I want to relocate? Do I love learning new languages? Those are the things that happen in our personality test and consultation. People don't have those conversations with themselves. They just want to hear, have you heard of that company? Give them $2 million, you get to Canada. That's a lie. And that's not planning. And I think that's where we need to put a bow on this episode because it's been fun.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next one.
But yeah, I mean, trust me, bro. Too many stars coming up. We've got co-founders, we've got big CEOs.
People that have $100,000 to do business visa.
Let them come carry person. Person no videos, no person. Okay, you already know the church I go to. Let us assume that they are my church members.
But they are your guys. You worked with them.
They are my church members.
You sense them.
Victoria, any final word? What did you learn for this episode?
It's really been enlightening. The whole Japa process, especially that business and skill part, I had no idea that you can go there to set up your business. I was thinking the business visa is just for you going for a meeting, because I've had people go on business trips and they come back, but that you go there to set up your business. And I think it's a whole lot. Like you said, you have $100,000, not naira. Is it naira?
That's small money, no?
And like, so that was what I learned, Sha.
And it's asking about learning. See now, who won't come bobo am now?
Nobody.
Imagine one guy now doesn't want the bobo Victoria. King of Japa don't educate them.
I know, right? You too also. Not just King of Japa, even Isaac too. Enlighten me. Kudos to you, our new host.
See, this is. Don't bring. This is the person I was saying. I don't. This is the person I was saying on this podcast now.
I'm sure you need to see this.
Who's
all right, guys? Final word, Isaac.
When you're trying to marry, involve your mother. Love and light.
And yeah, I remember that Japa. What's that? Your Japa quote? Don't just Japa. Plan.
Yeah. You know saying, Japa is like marriage. If you don't plan
like
to win, you plan to fail. That's really it.
If you don't plan to win, you plan to be Chelsea. That's the new quote.
When last you win Champions League?
When last you win trophy?
Thank you guys. Listen to Japa on YouTube, on Spotify, and all platforms.
Apple Podcasts.
Isaac, we're supposed to tell you. Are we every Wednesday at Friday? Because we have so many episodes back to back. See, if the content keeps coming, guys, until you figure out the content is coming.
Anyway, anytime.
Because when your guy is coming from the US and he tells you come and record.
Yes,
so and if our gracious host, Arrow House Studios, Arrow House, they supposed to do something for us. They know they give us coffee. They know they give us
chow, nothing. We just come, no chow, nothing. Well,
it's fine.
As time goes
See you guys in the next episode. We know we will talk next week. We are recording so much. We can't even say the day. Just wait.
Next episode.
Next episode.
All right.
If you didn't day,
you didn't day.